Welcome, everybody. Episode number 11, Blood in My Coffee. First things first, want to apologize in advance and say sorry for the delay. I know we do it every Sunday. Today is now Monday. And again, neither one of us is drinking coffee. So we're doing it at 9 p.m. actually. So, yeah. Oh, you waited for me to start the show so that I couldn't get any coffee.
Hey, pal.
But yeah, okay.
I couldn't let you call me out like that, pal. Oh, there you go. A little protein shake.
This is some water.
A little ice water. There you go.
Yep.
That's blood in my water.
Blood in my
sharks.
Nope. We're keeping the name, buddy.
I agree. What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in.
First, also smash the like button. I'm doing that right now on our own channel. Smash the fucking like button, please.
Homegrown, man.
And subscribe, all that good shit. So, oh my God. You know what? The low key, I have had so many things just running through my mind ever since Saturday night. Man.
Yeah, man. Crazy fights, man. Good weekend.
Yeah, I drove down to watch the fights with Brendan and his old man, and we were pretty much cashed out. Like, for me being a hardcore fight fan, I love to sit down and just watch fights for hours. Feels like you're actually at the event when you do that,
Right?
You're like, it's something you forget that you're at home, and it feels like you're in the arena with them. But man, by the time that last Charlo fight came on, dude, I was
exhausting,
done.
Man.
I was done. Yeah, man. After, yeah, because it happened right after the main event, the UFC event, and they were really, really stalling on Showtime to get that
time.
Yeah, so
we watched 8 fights between UFC and boxing.
It had to be something like that.
Like 4 hours worth of entertainment, man.
Yeah, like 2 boxing fights and then probably like 6 UFC fights, because I was on the main card, right? There's probably about like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I think we caught a little bit of the prelim.
We did
1 or 2.
We did.
But yeah, Alex came over and hung out with my pop and I, and it was a nice little night. We got some brews going and just kind of kicked back and checked it out. So it was a good night.
Yeah, man.
But I guess you wanna go ahead and kick off. Kind of the
recap. Should we start with? We watched the show. We watched Showtime. The Charlo brothers first, right? Like that was like the first fight we watched was on Showtime.
Yep.
That was Charlo and Derevyanchenko at middleweight 160. Man, that went about how I thought it would go. I thought maybe Sergey would have a little more in the later rounds, but I thought, he never went down once, and you could tell, man, that he was getting hurt from pretty much the first and second round, that Charlo's punches were having an effect on him. So one might think that the fight, and that's what makes it entertaining, is the idea that maybe Sergey will get knocked out, but he's a veteran, man. He's obviously attested. He's been in there with Triple G, Danny Jacobs. He's been in there with some top level guys. So, but like I said, I kind of expected that to happen. But all in all, entertaining scrap, man. Because they were throwing some really dope stuff on the inside. I don't know if you remember that highlight I sent you earlier today where Charlo ripped an uppercut and Sergey's face just like turns to. His face got rearranged that night. So yeah, man, I want to see Sergey come back and get a win in some sort of fashion. Maybe it's a Triple G rematch. I would like to see that. But yeah, I don't know exactly what's next for Charlo, but I think even more of Charlo after that fight, just knowing he can do that to even the best. He can do that to some guys that I think he has a good shot with Canelo, just because he has so much power, man. He's got a lot of a lot of things to offer, a lot of tools, a lot of really really strong jab, man. So both Charlo brothers have a great jab. So yeah, man. I mean, what did you think? Tell me what you thought.
Yeah, kind of coming in, you kind of educated me on Charlo. We had been talking about it for the last month or so. Um, and you hit the nail on the head with this power, man. And I don't want people that saw the fight or even the highlights to take that away from Charlo with Derevyanchenko still being in the fight. Dude just has a granite chin. Dude just
Yeah,
has an insane chin. Like
yeah,
the uppercut you just mentioned, 80%, 90% of fighters would have been flat of the canvas on that shot, man. Um, so the way he was able to take that and he kept up with it, man. I mean, he was getting pretty dominated the entire fight, you know. I mean, he was
he
getting
like
pressure
turned up a
from
little bit.
yeah.
Like in the later rounds, he kind of like turned up a little.
Yeah. Well, and that's where you get your veterans, you know,
Yeah,
when guys have experience, you know, they're built to endure, you know. So he got the pressure from Charlo in the very beginning. Kind of tapered off a little bit in the middle of the rounds, for about 4 through 7, but then came back in and kind of just turned it back up. You know, I don't think Charlo was ever any. I think Derevyanchenko might have stole a couple rounds, but I don't think Charlo was ever in any danger of losing the fight. But I think it was a great test for him. You know,
yeah, man.
you mentioned Canelo, and yeah, I mean, with his power and his endurance. Derevyanchenko's not a pushover, man. I mean, he's a good fighter. So, loved it. I thought it was a great start to the fights, and
Yep.
thought it was a good opening night.
I'm
Opening
glad
fight of
that
the
paid
night.
off. Yeah, I'm glad it paid off, man. Because if it were like if it were dry, like and not having to be the first boxing fight you guys watch, like you know what I mean, that would suck. But yeah, man, that fight really paid off. And that being said, I don't know where Charlo goes next. Like, I think maybe he tries. I think he tries to get the Triple G fight. I would like to see that, or maybe Triple G takes Derevyanchenko in the rematch. Either one. Um, but I think Triple G is getting up there in age. I think he's like 38 years old, man.
Yeah,
37, 38. So he's got some choices to make, you know. And even if Charlo gets that fight, people will say, "Oh, he will." Hey there, buddy. People will say, Charlo got an old Triple G, so
right.
excuses will be. I don't know. I want to see something for Charlo that's not going to just be um, another tomato can. But and at this point he's been in there with both of them have been in there with good guys. So
Right.
yeah. So I guess yeah, man. I mean, I was impressed with the older Charlo brother, the bigger, stronger. I mean, who knows if he's stronger?
Right.
But
Yeah, and that's one final thing I'll say about Charlo when his future's bright, man. Um, he undefeated, right? Was he the
yep,
one that was undefeated, or was his brother? Okay, so he's definitely got the candle lit right now, and the flame's strong, and I definitely think he's got the chance to make, like you said, a Canelo fight or even a Triple G fight.
especially after even if it didn't do well, he's fought on pay-per-view at this point. That is something that will entice Canelo out, hopefully a little bit, to make that fight happen. Seeing as is with the Zone and that was on Showtime,
Sure.
it's still going to be tough. But maybe that makes a little more sense for Canelo when you have guys like Drake who are watching.
Oh yeah.
Drake was watching the fight too, man. So when you have superstars like that who are also watching, that really does help and change things. So yeah, man. And then the other Charlo Jermel, 154. That was probably the better of the fights. But I was thoroughly impressed with Jermel. Although I did think he had the easier of the fights. Rosario, just not exactly that world class talent that I was expecting. Even though he was a champion, a two division champion, or a two belt holder champion. I just felt that he wasn't, around enough or long enough to prove that to me. So I thought maybe it would go that way as well. But stopping him with a body shot, dude,
That was nuts, dude.
yeah, man. And it was a
That
jab.
was brutal.
jab to the body, man. That was very impressive.
Has there been any word as far as the extent of what he really experienced? Was it just the wind knocked out of him
Yeah,
for
I guess he really
Rosario?
just got him in the solar plex, man. Just right in the solar plexus, and it just took him out. You know, like took all the air out of him, and he's like, obviously, he was responded in a weird way where he looked like he was.
Seizure, man.
Yeah, it looked like he was convulsing, but I think he's gonna be okay. And yeah, and so now Jermell, he has I think like 3 belts at 154. So yeah, man, he's got him too. He's probably the more he's strapped up of the brothers right now. He's been in there with so many guys. He's been in there with what's his name? Obviously Jason Rosario at this point. I wanted to see him with Jarrett Hurd, but Jarrett Hurd got beat by Julian Williams, but Julian Williams got knocked out by the older Charlo brother. Yeah, there's just so many. And then he's been in there with which I just watched him just recently, man. But I like both of the brothers, man. They put on a show and they made the pay-per-view worth it. So
Definitely.
I'm glad that turned out really well. So congrats to those guys.
Yeah, it was a good. It definitely solidified, my interest in boxing to come back.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see those fights because by design, you've got it's hard. It's hard to keep these guys paid and keep the fights coming while keeping them exciting.
Right.
Especially with
And
fans.
Right, and getting the general public to realize like this is actually
Right.
a good fight, like it's worth buying.
Right.
In this case, we didn't buy it, but maybe if there's a Canelo and Jamal Charlo fight in the future, I would certainly be willing to buy something like that. Just get your friends together,
Sure.
and between 3 or 4 guys, like, well, how could you not just
$20 a piece? That ain't bad.
I'm a kind of guy that I don't mind paying for entertainment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's the same kind of deal like when you go to a strip club, like you paying for entertainment, but like in my sense, I like doing that for boxing. Just
Sure.
helps the sport only in the right times. So yeah, man. And then we'll go. Let's transition over to UFC because we watched a hell of a lot of UFC, man.
Yeah. Go ahead and are you able to pull that card?
Yeah. We'll start.
We watched the entire card on that one.
Let's just talk about the main card, the main because we did watch some preliminary fights, but they ended up kind of.
Besides Sanchez, which was really the only prelim fighter I knew, besides him getting dominated by Matthews,
Diego Sanchez, Jake Matthews.
I didn't really see anything of that prelim card that was noteworthy. So
he was leaking. He was the one who was leaking, right?
Yeah, man, he was leaking bad.
Yeah,
I think it was
all
the side of his head.
Yeah,
they cut you up, man.
I remember that fight. We were. I think we were doing something in between, but we were also like watching that at the same time.
That was right at the start.
Leaking. Mm-hmm.
I think that's when the first Charlo fight was going on.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe that was. Yeah. You're right. And then I don't know if you remember watching Brad Riddell, but that was before the main card.
Oh, Riddell and
Colojo? De Silva, something like that. I don't quite remember that one, but well, I guess we can keep going.
Was Royval on the prelim on that one?
No, he was on the main. The main.
So we'll get to that one. Okay, I just wanted to. I couldn't remember. Okay.
And we got Hakeem Dawodu, and the other guy Turkov. That was the first fight on the card, the main card. I remember that one being. They were both very, very cautious.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a close fight. I think Hakeem got the decision on that one, but I felt that initially in the first round, Turkov was doing, at least he was the more active fighter. I thought he was doing okay, and then the second round was kind of a toss up. You could go either way, and then I felt that in the last round that Hakeem really turned up and just found his confidence and just kind of stole the round. So I thought it was very close. They gave it to Hakeem, and I have no problem with that at all.
He goes to 12-1 now, I think, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's I believe, I don't know when that earlier loss was, but he's on some kind of fight streak. I think it's 5 or 6. Yeah, I mean it was pretty standard fare for both of them.
Yeah.
Kind of even matched, but when you only got 3 rounds to work with, man, I mean those rounds count.
All right.
So yeah, I remember it was kind of a toss up. I could have seen it kind of going either way, but that
Well,
third round, like you said,
yeah,
was kind of stolen. So
yeah.
I
I
definitely
think
can see that.
I think like not to say that it could have been a draw. I don't think Turkov should have won the fight. I guess I'll clarify. I don't think Turkov should have won the fight. If he did, it would have been weird. But he did. Turkov's most impressive work to me happened within, and it was little, not very much. It was happened probably within the first round and little bits of in the second. But I felt that Hakeem Dawodu was the victor, and he got the decision. So that's good. Yeah. So yeah, and I'll be checking for him in the future. Then we watched that chick fight, man. The Ketlin Vieira and Eubanks. I don't quite remember who was getting the bet. Yeah. So Vieira. Oh, hey there, buddy.
1 second.
No, you're good. Hey there,
There we
pal.
go. Got the Paw
What's he
Patrol
playing with?
truck up in here.
Oh, okay. What's he playing with a fire truck? Hey there. My God, he's got a lot of toys, man.
Yeah, man, drive me crazy.
Do you remember much about the chick fight? Because I wasn't super tuned in, but
What was the decision on that one? Was it a?
She got a decision over the course of the rounds. Vieira did. I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember too much. We might have been bouncing back and forth. That might have been right when the.
We were playing Smash Bros and shit too in between.
Yeah,
we weren't checking. But I remember that chick Vieira really just kind of beating her up. It felt like kind of like she was bullying her to an extent, but I don't quite recall what exactly happened in that fight. So let's keep it pushing. I thought the next one was excellent. Cara France and the Brandon Royval fight. Yep.
Yeah, man, that's Royval got the win on that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a quick submission. I think round 2 he got the submission on that fight.
That's the one where. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, just that it was super exciting from the very first round. So, I wasn't really looking at the Royval guy thinking he was any good. Just he looked like a skinny, like I've seen guys like him in the gym before. You know what I mean? And I was really surprised and thoroughly impressed by that fight.
Yeah, that's the first round. I believe Royval went down. Or no. France, I think, went down, and then didn't he get a spinning back fist?
That was France had from the very first few seconds of the fight, France had hurt Royval and sent him to his knees, right, and his legs were gone, so he's on his knees.
That's what it was.
And then he does this spinning, I don't know how he did it. It was like a spinning back elbow.
Yeah.
And these two guys were
clean, dude.
Yeah, it was so very clean. The two guys from the very opening, bell, were coming at each other's heads. So that was definitely unexpected, man. And one of the more entertaining fights. I mean, you can't beat the main event, but that's certainly one of the more entertaining fights on the card.
Yeah, I think Royval might have gotten performance bonus on that one. Very. I mean, the way he was able to recover and push forward. And like you said, the submission, was it a choke?
I remember it being. I think I remember it being a choke.
I think it was a choke.
Yeah. Remember he had him. He was over him. Your dad had mentioned he had him
it was a clock choke,
something like that. Your dad had mentioned it was a clock choke. Like that.
It was dug in. I mean, it was quick work. When he was able to transition and get him. I think you said the second round, right?
Yeah.
So the way he was able to recover. I mean, he's does it say the weight class on there?
Yeah, they're flyweight.
Flyweight. So yeah, that's a division that kind of could use some more people. So that's that's something that it's not a whole lot of competition in that division right now. So definitely can use some fresh faces in there.
Yeah,
So that was impressive, man. It was impressive for him able to slide in there and pull that choke off. So yeah, that was a good one. And I knew of Cara France going into the fight. I didn't know of Royval.
okay.
So that was kind of a shock to see Cara France kind of go out there. I thought once he had got him down, with that shot, he was able to maybe capitalize on that even after getting stunned with that back fist. But
Yeah.
Royval pressured through, man, used his jiu-jitsu and knew what his strength was and went for it, So better man won out of that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like that fight a lot. So then we got the next two, which are were both thoroughly entertaining. Dominic Reyes and Jan Blachowicz.
Blachowicz.
Yeah. Wow, that one was certainly no. Who was expecting that? I mean, and I mean, I guess the odds makers decided, maybe, but who was expecting the KO in the second round? I mean, wow, that was I was impressed.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what the odds were going in.
Yeah, it was like plus 100, or like Dominic Reyes was the favorite.
Oh yeah, I knew of that.
But he wasn't too large of a favorite. It was pretty, it was there, but not, the odds makers weren't, and that was for a lot of the fights. They weren't like super confident who was going to win the fight. And I was thinking Dominic Reyes would knock the guy out. Everybody was, I guess. Maybe I went into I fed off the hype a little bit, but wow. And it's the way he went out too, man. That red spot on his ribs, dude. He was just kicking there, like pinpoint accuracy, man.
There's a still shot that I saw that was grabbed from somebody watching it. That it was just bad, dude. Just the way you can see the foot just smush right into his ribs.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a lot to break somebody's ribs. So when you're dealing with that extent of an injury, it really doesn't take a whole lot to put the nail in the coffin and snap a couple of ribs. And we just saw Woodley, deal with a rib infraction,
right.
Last weekend. But yeah, man, I mean, to what you said, feeding off the hype, I think everybody was, man. I was included,
And it's just because you saw him fight John Jones and you think, oh, this guy must be better. He only has one loss or two losses. And, the guy and this guy, Jan Blachowicz, he's, who knows how that could turn out. But, yeah, man, I was not expecting the knockout for sure.
Yeah, it was insane. Man,
I don't think, and I guess Blachowicz had made a mention of trying to fight John Jones, but I don't think he has a shot at that fight per se. I think John Jones is a totally different fighter from Dominic Reyes. But even though they had to dust up themselves, I don't think Jan can really sit back and try to do the same thing to John Jones.
Yeah, it's so with Reyes, like you said, he lost to John Jones. That was his only loss, so he's going to be hyped up. I mean, and a lot of people picked him winning that fight against Jones. I mean, that's been said a million times. But Reyes, to what you're saying with Blachowicz fighting Jones, Reyes underestimated him. And he was too comfortable and did not press the action like he should have. Reyes is a phenomenal striker. He's not really known for more of his like athletic and endurance, but he is a phenomenal striker, And when he's able to go down with the GOAT and make it as close to the fight as he did, you would think he'd have that same energy with Blachowicz,
Yeah.
But it was kind of telling when he went into the fight. They had asked him about, if he's going to have kind of a similar fight style to how he had with Jones, where it's real gritty, trade-offs, chasing Jones on the cage, not letting him steal those points off the judges' scorecards, which is how, Jones is going to win.
Yeah.
But he said he was going to go in a different direction. And when you do that sometimes and you go in different directions and you're a little bit more cautious, because, credit, Blachowicz has got a power, he's got shots, cannons, but Reyes didn't capitalize on what he's known for,
Yeah.
and just was kind of afraid. I think those leg kicks kind of ate at him a little
Definitely.
bit.
Definitely affected him for
I
sure.
mean, those body kicks landed early,
Yeah. Early. From the
and
first round, he had
immediate
that.
abrasions. Yeah. So when you're dealing with that bruising on your side of your ribs, man, that starts affecting your cardio, your breathing. Every time you take a breath, it's hurting, it's stinging, you know,
Facts.
and Blachowicz is able to capitalize on that.
Easy
I
too.
when you got a side that's down and you got to worry extra caution on that side, man, it's so easy for the other fighter to capitalize on that. So yeah, and I liked with Blachowicz and Reyes, I like that they went in not really having any bad blood in between them, and I don't think there's going to be any bad blood after this. I
Yeah.
thought it was it was just a mutual fight. They're both fighting for the vacant light heavyweight championship belt. I think Blachowicz just kind of came in a little bit more eager, with something more to prove. Reyes had already come in having a close fight with arguably the GOAT of the sport. So
Yeah.
he's already kind of got a chip on his shoulder. He's already kind of expected to be the winner. A lot of people expected him to already win this. So Blachowicz has got to bring everything with him. I think Blachowicz is like 37 or 38. So
Yeah.
he's not a
Yeah.
young fighter at all. So, he's got a little bit of a timetable. But now he's able to come in and capitalize on that. And that shot, dude, that shot on Reyes, I've never seen somebody stumble like that. The
I forget the
shot,
exact shot it was. It definitely was a strike though of some sort. I forget
it
what it
was
was.
I thought it was I thought it was a hook,
Yeah.
but I mean Reyes looked drunk. That's how
Oh,
bad it was, man.
his legs,
I don't know if
man.
you remember Stem. Yeah, he was stumbled back,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying to catch himself, and Blachowicz just he capitalized, dude. He
Yeah.
jumped in, claimed it. I think was it second round.
Yep.
Yeah, so he capitalized and got it done, man. And
Yeah.
now to get back to your original point with Blachowicz and Jones, kind of a long-winded drawback to that, but yeah, I think if Blachowicz fights the same way he did with Reyes, where he's able to keep up the pressure, I think Jones could actually be in a little bit of trouble. But Jones is such an intelligent fighter, dude. Every single fight he does so much research and he prepares, Santos and Reyes, he came in not going super powerful because he knows if he gets caught and countered, he's going to go down and clean out, So with Blachowicz, he's going to fight the same way. He's going to be cautious. He's going to use his reach. And Blachowicz is going to be chasing the whole night. But Jones is going to be scoring these significant strikes from the outside. These little leg kicks, these little snapping kicks, little flashes of, little special moves and everything. Doing just enough, throwing just enough strikes to steal the rounds.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't expect Jones to go in there and knock him out.
Yeah. Well, and that, like you said, I think Blachowicz had a better game plan. He had a better execution of the game plan, and
Definitely.
Obviously his game plan was to be the guy who maintains distance. He didn't let Reyes anywhere on the inside. He was very patient, picked his shots well, and when he had his man hurt, he took him out.
Oh yeah.
So and I just think that matchup probably was perfect for Blachowicz that night. And who knows, maybe on a different night Reyes decides, he's gonna not just sit back. Maybe he decides that he's gonna actually get into the action and do what he's known for. But on Saturday, very exciting knockout, Blachowicz and Reyes. And then we got the main event, man. Before we get out of here and you put the little one to bed, let's talk about the main event.
Yeah, man. Insane.
Yeah, well, you tell me, because what do you think?
Well, I do want to go on record and say I did predict this going the exact way.
Okay, he did.
Second round TKO.
Uh-huh.
And to be honest with you, dude, I just kind of threw that one out there. But insanity, man. All the hype that Kostick had coming into this fight, coming off of a war with Romero, going 13-0, a Brazilian fighter, which is big for UFC, man. There's been a lot of Brazilian goats, real tough guys, real big strikers. And and all the hype that went into it with the whole white belt thing and all the bad blood,
They really
they've
hyped
had
it
bad
up.
blood for years now, a couple of years, at least since I can't remember who Adesanya had fought and won, but Costa was in the crowd, and he started calling Costa Ricky Martin and everything. But yeah, it was insane, man. I don't know if okay, Ali, okay. I don't know if really if it was so much as Costa's game plan didn't work, or if Adesanya's game plan was just a lot better.
Yeah.
Costa came in thinking that he could fight him like he did with Yoel Romero. Adesanya's not that stupid, dude. Adesanya has made his career off of learning who his fighters are that he's facing. And ever since that Gastelum fight and getting the belt from Whitaker and everything, he knows what he's doing. He's had like 105 fights total between kickboxing and MMA. So he's been around the block,
Yeah.
and coming in I think he was 18-0, or he might be 18-0 now. But coming in as a middleweight, getting the belt.
He's 20-0 now.
Wow. Okay, so he was 19-0 coming in. So he had a lot of pressure coming in, and he knew that, and he recognized that. And Costa, I guess, decided to eat every single leg kick possible. Didn't even try to check it. I guess his plan was to try to goad Adesanya to fight him either in the middle of the cage or middle of the octagon, or right up against the cage like he did with Romero. But Adesanya's not that stupid, man. He knew what his strength was, which is to keep to the outside, use his range, stay from, don't go on the ground. Don't let Costa wrestle him. Don't let Costa get the upper clinch. And Adesanya just perfected that. He knew as soon as he started throwing those leg kicks and Costa was goading him on, talking crap on him and everything, he knew he had him right where he wanted him to be. Because those leg kicks hurt, dude. And anytime you see a fighter smile like that and brush it off and kind of, eat it, he
was getting pissed off.
It hurts. They're trying to pull a mental warfare game, but nobody's believing it, man. That stuff hurts. And Costa just took to the clinic, man. Leg kicks came in. That happened the entire first round. I think Costa landed a couple jabs at most, at least one, but that was nothing, And I know he landed the jab and he got a body kick on him at one point too.
Yeah,
but
he got one in there.
That's what's so sad is the significant strikes from him were on my hand. He
got one in there.
Yeah,
and even Adesanya was even like, okay, like
right.
He had to acknowledge it.
Right, exactly. But going into the second round, he did the same thing, man. He didn't try to change up anything.
And neither did Adesanya. Adesanya, and he didn't have to.
Right. He knew exactly what he was going to do. He knew exactly where he had Costa right where he needed him to be. And Costa just came back in, walking down, just right in front of him. I'm sure you're going to talk about it here in a second. You pointed it out to me, but the feinting and the slippage of Adesanya and his dodging, but he was able to slip and rip, getting those counter shots in. Immaculate, man. You could tell that. I don't know if he had what he's got for a boxing coach, but you can definitely tell he definitely amplified his boxing striking for this fight. He definitely made that a point of emphasis. So for sure. Loved it, man. Loved it. And I know Costa's already kind of talking about the loss. Before I pass it over to you, the one thing I'll say is I don't agree with Adesanya doing the little hump move at the end. I think that's super disrespectful. But it is what it is, man. They had bad blood coming in, and Costa was still calling them out and everything too. Still running his mouth. I mean, the entire fight, Costa's come on, calling him all these names, and it's like, come on, man, like he's not going to fall for that. You got to press the action. If Costa would have gone for him like he would have with Romero and would have just kept up the pressure, close that distance off, close the cage, and ran right at him with brute force and veracity, I think he could have gave Adesanya a run for his money, but he didn't do that. So what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man. I thought the fight might go as such, but I was not expecting a knockout in the main event. To be honest with you, I thought Costa might have, and I've never watched any of his fights before, and neither have I seen Adesanya's fights, honestly. But just from the eye test, I thought maybe Costa had a bit of a a more of a beard on him. I didn't think Adesanya would be able to strike him out of there, but
Yeah.
I did think that he would be the he would be the guy to establish the distance and be the guy to really just make a miss. And I think Costa needed to do a better job of feinting the takedown. Like not just standing there letting his leg get kicked
Demolished.
just chopped down, man. He got chopped down by both of his legs by Adesanya in different stances. He was feinting beautifully, man. And the footwork, he was feinting with his feet too. Adesanya has some really beautiful footwork. And obviously his striking is quite beautiful too. So Costa was just too big, too uptight, too robotic, too just too slow to deal with intelligence in the ring. And I think had he just gotten over all of the name calling and all the mental games or whatever was going on in his head. I don't know if it was pride or whatever, but you got to change up the game plan, man. Because honestly, you're not like if that your leg is hurting, man. Like
Right.
don't just try to mess with because one of these and just mess with them for no reason, man. You gotta get your head back in the game. So yeah, like you said, I don't agree with the humping thing after the fight, but I will say people get caught up in the adrenaline and the rush
Theatrics, yeah.
putting another man down in front of the world, man. And that being said, like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't try to hump another man in front of the world. But I get where he wants to a certain extent say fuck you, like
Right.
fuck you. I'm saying like and get the fuck out of like get him out of there. So I get it, man. But yeah, I don't agree with it. I don't think he should have done it. And he probably should apologize for that, to be honest with you. Just to make it clean, keep it
Right.
clean.
Yeah, and with that, I completely forgot that Costa was doing the whole hand blocking thing, which was mocking Adesanya. So that definitely fueled the fire.
Yeah.
How much of it is so much bad blood between him and Costa, or is it him trying to silence the critics, man? Coming into this fight, people were very critical of him and Yellow Romero. Costa had just gone to war with Romero and won a fight, many consider one of the best middleweight fights of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the champ, Adesanya, who's supposed to be the next Anderson Silva, who's supposed to be the next GOAT, comes in and has a snooze of a fight with Yellow Romero, a lot of people wrote him off, man. A lot of people, said, oh, this guy is boring, lackluster, And so to come into that fight against Costa, who many people were picking to give Adesanya a run for his money and to pressure him and be the one that, maybe possibly knock him out.
He should have been the guy to pressure him. He should have been the guy.
He might have been pulling that move to silence some of those critics,
Yeah.
This is what I'm made of. I'm a champ for a reason. I didn't just beat Whitaker on a lucky strike. I know how to strike and I'm skilled and I know what works for me and what doesn't. And that's what won the fight. He knew what game plan he needed to stick to. He didn't falter it. He even talked about it in the post-fight conference that he knew, he was talking with his coaches the entire time. He knew what he needed to do. He knew what worked for him, and he knew it was going to win the fight. It was quite the matchup, man. And I think you can call it. I mean, you can say Costa was looking sluggish. You can say that he was coming in, that weight cut might have hurt him. But at the end of the day, Costa's game plan did not work. Not taking anything away from him as a skilled fighter. I think he's a tremendously skilled fighter. And I don't think we've seen the last of him. But Adesanya's game plan just completely dominated and neutralized every single thing Costa was going for.
Yeah, man. Exactly. Well put, man. Well put. Well, we're reaching the 40-minute mark, so And I know you got a
Yeah,
kid
sorry about
begging for
that,
your attention.
guys.
No,
He's
man.
fighting sleep right now, so
Nah, he's begging for your attention. So,
I'm gonna go ahead
we'll
and read
get.
him a story.
Yeah, that's an excellent idea, man. So we'll let everybody get out of here, and I'll let you take care of that. Thanks everybody for tuning in and checking out
Thanks,
the
guys.
after the fact. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, all that good shit.
Definitely.
And I don't know what we have coming up next weekend, but hey, Pep. I
He's
don't know what.
sleepy.
Yeah, he does look a little sleepy.
No,
Chris.
that's Alex.
Alex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex.
Wave to him. Maybe he'll get a kick out of that. Hi.
I don't know where he's getting Alex or Chris from.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, Alex.
Maybe
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, man. Well, we'll check next week's fights if there's anything good. Oh, maybe Holly Holm.
Holm and Aldana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrific matchup. I don't know when Santos is fighting, man. I don't know if that's just been, unless he flew under the radar. I think that one's been just suspended indefinitely. That was supposed to be another big heavyweight fight, light heavyweight fight, man. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But
All
yeah,
right,
guys. It was a pleasure talking to you guys, and Alex, pleasure having you over here, man. I had a good time.
Yeah, man, thanks.
We'll
we had
check.
a hell of a time.
Yeah. We'll check in with you guys next Sunday.
Yeah. Thanks everybody.
All right. Take care, buddy.